Namaskaram to all of you. I hope I'm audible to everybody.
Yes, doctor.
Thank you. I'm grateful to MSSI for giving me this opportunity to speak. And I'm also grateful to each one of you for investing your time to listen to my perspective about MS. When a couple of months back, when Dimple approached me about addressing you all, I thought to myself, all of you who've been diagnosed with MS would have by now researched the net and would have chewed up all the information that is available on Google, plus all the information that the doctor would have told you. We've just heard him talk about MS and what it does and all that. So I told myself there's no point in talking to you about what is already available on Google. So I began to research MS, and my study was not about what MS does to the physical body, but I focused on how the mind reacts to the diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. So, in my study, I found that MS does not discriminate between the rich and the poor, the urban or the rural areas. So, this was interesting to me. So, I decided to find out what happens to a patient exhibiting symptoms of MS in the rural area, particularly interior India. We have 70% of our Indian population living in the rural areas. So I thought, what would a lady do if she developed some visual disturbances or fatigue or weakness of the muscles or the limbs? The first contact for them would be an RMP, not even a doctor. An RMP would, in most likely, would not even be class 10 plus pass, but he's a famous guy there. So she would go to him, tell him, Doc Sahab, I'm not able to see properly. There is some visual disturbances. I'm having weakness of my limbs. I'm not able to go to work. So this guy will examine her eye, put a torch in the eye, he will examine her physically and he will say, don't worry about it. I'll give you some eye drops and I'll give you injections. Take these injections continuously for about 3 days time and you will be fine. You will be surprised to know that most of them, they get better after this. But this has nothing to do with the injection that he has given or the eye drops that he has given. In all likelihood, the injection is just saline water. The response is the immense faith, the immense trust that the patient has on this doctor. The doctor's reassuring words triggers of a healing process in the patient. So the body begins to heal itself. I'm sure all of you are exposed to something called as faith healing. It is there in every religion, every tradition, there is faith healing. Let me give you a very small example of it. Now, try and recollect when you were a small kid and you would hurt your knee, you would cry and cry in pain, you would not stop. Then your mother would come, she would pick you up, put you in her lap, and put her hand on your knee, and instantly you would stop crying. Hasn't it? Now, there are two factors at play here. One is the intense faith the child has in the mother, and number two, the intense desire the mother has to cure the child. Now, these two factors, they release chemicals or neurotoxins in the brain. These are natural painkillers which are there. This is why you find miracles of healing happening when the healing happens naturally, either in alternative systems or faith healing. Miracles happen. This is because the body is capable of healing itself miraculously. Then I began to explore again after 2 3 months or 6 months, 1 year, that lady might again come up with a visual disturbances or something. She will again go to the RMP, get another shot. Another 6 months, she's going to be fine. Then I began to explore what happens to the people in the city when they have symptoms of multiple sclerosis. They initially go to some doctors, eventually they end up with the neurologist. The neurologist will do a whole series of tests, blood work, x-rays, MRIs. And then the doctor tells you you are suffering from multiple sclerosis. And he will tell you everything, or he will tell you the worst that can happen to you. Now you listen to all this and you say, Doc, but what is this multiple sclerosis? Explain to me. The doctor will say, you see, the multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disorder where your cells are fighting against your own cells and destroy them. Then you ask the doctor, Doctor, but why would my cells fight against my own cells and destroy it? The doctor says, your cells recognize your own cells as a foreign body and then they destroy it. You're like, Doc, why would my cells identify my own cells as a foreign body? By then the doctor is irritated. He will say, it is a proliferative degeneration of cells that happened due to autolysis. You don't understand a damn thing that he told you, but you say, okay. And then you go home. The fact is, medical science knows what happens in the body, like Gopi explained, but it doesn't know why it happens in the body. So they cannot give you an answer to this question. But anyway, you've been diagnosed, and then you go home, and then you Google, and then you start to educate yourself about MS, and then you read about everything that can go wrong with you. You also get to know that there is no known treatment, like Gopi said. How can there be a treatment when you don't know the cause of the problem? The treatment can happen if you know the cause and the effect, you treat both the cause and the effect. You don't even know the damn cause. How can there be a cure? I always tell people that we doctors, we know only about 20% of what we are supposed to know. What we know, 100%, we can cure. Malaria, smallpox, chickenpox, TB, infections. We know how to cure it. But what we do not know, we can only fix it. We can give you symptomatic relief. We can control the problem. We can give you something to make sure that there is no further progress. We can arrest the problem, but we cannot cure it. This is because we do not know the cause, and the treatment, like I said, will happen only if you treat the cause and the effect. Now, once you know that you're diagnosed and you know what all can go wrong with you, it is natural for the mind to start indulging in negative thoughts. In your mind, you begin to imagine how, from a blurring vision, you'll go blind. From simple weakness in the limb, you start to imagine that you won't be able to walk, and then you start imagining yourself in a wheelchair. You start imagining that you're paralyzed and that you're in bed, you lose your hearing. I'm not saying all of you will react like that, but most of us will do it. Those who don't, there are some people who say, what the hell, this has happened, let me enjoy my life, and he goes around having a good time. But at some point of time, something happens where he feels a little low, and the first thing that will hit him is his diagnosis of MS. And again, he'll be in a state of low energy. I mean, for me, I'll take my example. For instance, I was diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis 20 to 30 years back. I, like anybody would read about psoriatic arthritis, and being a doctor, there is an extra affinity to go and read about it. And then I started to imagine that in a few years from now, I won't be able to walk. Then I started imagining that I would be going to the clinic in a wheelchair. I imagined it in my mind. It is mind's natural reaction to think of the worst and imagine yourself going through the worst. That's how the mind works. Unfortunately, we do not think of the millions of MS patients who are leading a perfectly healthy life without suffering. There are many who are diagnosed, who are not diagnosed, they have no issues, they are perfectly fine, but we don't think about it. We only think about the few percentage of people who are suffering, and we identify with them, and we start to imagining things happening to us. Now, you need to understand that there are trillions of cells in your body, And each of these cells has an intelligence within it. Your body is your slave. The body will do everything that the mind tells it to do. For example, put your hands up, it'll hands up. Put your hands down, it'll do it. It'll even obey something evil. Punch somebody, it'll go and punch somebody. Kill somebody, it'll go and kill somebody. There is an intelligence in the cell, but this intelligence can only take a command. It cannot decide. Has it ever happened that you want to punch somebody and you do this and you stop, the hand stops? No. The cells does not have that intelligence to think. It can only obey a command. So you must realize that each cell in your body is obeying your command. So when you constantly dwell on the worst that can happen to you and you keep on imagining it, the cells in the body will think that it is being given a command and it will work towards it. It does not have the intelligence to understand that it is your fear and your anxiety that are generating these thoughts, right? It is mostly your fears and your thoughts that are working against you, not your MS. No, after you're diagnosed and you know everything about your disease, and you also know that there is no cure, it is but natural for you to feel sad, hopeless. Your happiness just evaporates. You are engulfed in a cloud of sadness, self-pity. Do you realize that every feeling in the body is controlled by chemicals? When you're happy, good feel hormones are released, which acts like painkillers. So when you're sad, there are negative hormones which are secreted. Have you realized that one day you're in a lot of pain, but one of your close friend comes and then you're very happy to see him? Your pain just vanishes. You don't feel the pain. This is because the body produces those positive hormones which are natural painkillers. But after hearing the diagnosis, when you're sad and hopeless, only negative hormones are produced in the body, and that's only going to make your symptoms worse. Now, let's try and understand multiple sclerosis in a different perspective that you may not have read, heard, or even thought about. So, I began to explore what these autoimmune disorders are. When you read about autoimmune disorder, medical science, they says that multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disorder where your own cells are working against you. This is when I started to explore, why would my own cell work against me? What makes our cells, work against us? Now, all of us go through pleasant and unpleasant events as we grow up from our womb till today. It's been scientifically proven that a child in the womb also experiences emotions. So there are many events that have happened in our life which are pleasant and unpleasant. We revisit most pleasant events, but we normally do not revisit unpleasant events. Don't you remember most of the unpleasant events that have happened to you from childhood till now? Every time you try to recollect, let's say you recollect a very unpleasant event that happened about 20 years back. Apart from recollecting the event, don't you also feel the emotion that you went through at that time? You do. Isn't that proof enough that that emotion is trapped within you? But today, when you look back at it, that would have been a very silly incident. That would have been a very small incident that happened, but you reacted like that and it became very unpleasant. But when you recollect it, you still feel that emotion that you felt at that point of time. That means not only is the event trapped, but the level of your understanding at that time is also trapped. You do not understand it the way you understand it now. It is trapped at the level you understood it at that point of time. These trapped emotions within you is what is making the cells work against you. Now you will say, but doctor, I don't recollect unpleasant events every day. So why would I suffer? Agree? Though you're not remembering these events all the time, the fact that you're able to recollect it and feel the emotion means that it is stored somewhere in your conscious, subconscious, or unconscious mind. It has been scientifically proven that these unpleasant emotions cause chronic and incurable diseases within us. So these unpleasant emotions are trapped in some dimension, conscious, subconscious, or unconscious. You are not aware of it, but it is working against you from that dimension. Let me try and explain to you how these emotions can cause disease in us. I'm sure all of you are aware that your breath changes every time you are emotional. When you're scared, you breathe a particular way. When you're panicking, you breathe a certain way. When you're sad, you breathe a particular way. When you're angry, there's a change in the breath that happens, right? All of you would have noticed that. When the breathing changes, when the natural breathing changes because of these intense emotions, they change the vibration that is created by the breathing. These altered vibrations get trapped along with your emotions. And these vibrations are not in sync with your body's vibrations. So these altered vibrations will work against you. That is what is meant by your own self working against you. The only way that you can stop these cells from working against you is by releasing these emotions. How do we release these emotions? In order to do that, let's try and explore what an emotion is. This unpleasantness that I'm talking about can be caused in two ways. Number one, it can be caused because of your words or your action. Number two, it can be caused because of somebody else's words or actions. If you are the cause of an unpleasant event, today when you look at it, because of me, an unpleasant event happened. You feel guilt, you feel shame, you feel wretched, and these emotions will get trapped in you. If somebody else has caused an unpleasant event, you will feel anger, you will feel humiliated, you will feel cheated, betrayed, and these emotions get trapped in you. Remember, these emotions get trapped according to how you felt at that point of time. Today, when you look at it, it would have been a very silly thing, but then it is trapped at that level of understanding. So let's look at how we can release these emotions. Number one, if you revisit this particular events today and understand it with the wisdom that you have today, with the knowledge and the wisdom that you have today, okay, it was such a stupid thing, silly thing. I need not have reacted it the way I reacted then. Slowly, in some people, these emotions might get released. The second way is to understand the perspective of all the people that are involved in that particular event. Now, let's say you're watching a movie. You're watching the movie in a witness mode. You understand the perspective of every character in the movie. You know why each one of them is doing what they are doing because you know it. You're in a witness mode. So you can revisit these events in a witness mode where you will know the perspective of all the people who are involved, including you. So that might give you a different perspective about the incident, and then slowly that might help you to release that particular incident also. Now there's another way. Now let me ask you one thing. Would you ever do or say anything if you don't feel that it is the right thing to do? Most of human beings, they don't do. We always do what we feel is the right thing to do. There are some people who might do what is not the right thing to do, but according to me, they are sick. There's something wrong with them. Now, every unpleasant event that has happened in our life because of our words or our action happened because at that point of time we thought that was the right thing to do. We would not do if it was not the right thing to do. But whatever happened at that point of time, we thought it was the right thing to do. Today, if you look at it, it may not have been the right thing, but at that point of time, it was the right thing to do. So, go easy on yourself. Stop suffering with shame, guilt, regret. It's all right. You did it because it was the right thing to do at that moment. Now, sometimes we say unpleasant things or we do unpleasant things when we are angry, jealous, sad. Still, at that point of time, that was the right thing to do. You need to understand that when we are angry, lustful, or at the peak of any emotion, the concept of what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad just disappears from our mind. We don't think. That's why most unpleasant things happens at the height of emotion. So you can go easy on yourself for what you did because you did it because it was the right thing to do at that moment. Now, many things happen because of others. So we need to understand that whatever somebody else did to us, for them, at that point of time, that was the right thing to do. So there's a change of perspective that you need to do. The whole point is not about what you did or what someone else did. It is about how you reacted. If you keep this concept in mind, it becomes easier to forget and forgive unpleasantness. And you can release your trapped emotions. How would I approach if I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis? What are the other things that I would do? The first and foremost thing that I would tell my patients or I would advise is to balance the 5 elements of nature. The 5 elements, the earth, water, fire, air, and space. Let's take it one by one. Earth. Everything that is there in the earth is within us. We are a part of the earth. All the elements like calcium, magnesium, zinc, everything is there within our, on a blood test you can see. So we are earth. It's very important to connect with the earth. So it's very important for us to walk barefoot on the ground or the grass. If you can't walk, you stand or you sit or you lie down. But that connect with the earth is very important on an everyday basis. Work with the sand, do some gardening, water the plants, take care of them. This will connect you to the earth element. The second element is the water. Our body is made of 70% of our body is made of water, including the bones. There is water even in our bones also. So we have to keep the water in balance. Now, I would do that by taking long showers. I would let the water caress my body. Most of us take a shower to wash the dirt, but what dirt do we accumulate? We are not working in garden, we are not working in the field. So the whole purpose of the walk, it's for the water to caress your body so that you are in connect with the water element. If you have a pool, try and spend a lot of time in the pool. You don't have to swim. You can just stand in the pool, walk in the pool, but be one with the water. Do you recollect on a particular day you're so tired mentally, physically, you come back home and then you crawl into the house, then you go have a shower. After the shower, how rejuvenated you feel? People think it's the warmth of the water or the cold water. There are people who take cold water and warm water, but they all feel rejuvenated. It is not the temperature of the water that rejuvenates you, it is the vibration of the water that falls into you. It vibrates the 70% of the water within you and makes it alive. That is how you feel rejuvenated. You feel fresh. So connecting with the water element is of utmost importance. Fire or heat. I mean, I prefer or I try to spend half an hour in the morning and see the sunrise, and if possible, see the sunset also. What it does to me is, apart from giving the vitamin D that is important for me, particularly for those who are suffering with pains and aches, it also gives me the time to appreciate the beauty of the sunrise and the sunset. I wonder how many of you see sunrise and sunset. I wonder if there are a few amongst you who have not seen a sunrise or sunset for the past few months or years also. Now, coming to air and space. Balancing the air and space happens by doing yoga and pranayama or breathing exercises. A lot of breathing exercises are available on YouTube. You can start doing it on an everyday basis. Now, this is very important because I told you in the past that when you have an intense emotion, it affects your breathing and it gets trapped. So one of the way to release it is by regulating your breath. So doing pranayama on an everyday basis is of immense help. Yoga, you've already adopted yoga as a part of a treatment. Yoga is an important part of treatment of multiple sclerosis because multiple sclerosis is a disabling disease of the brain and the spinal cord. Let me tell you something very important. You all heard about the Samudra Manthan that has happened between the Devas and the Asuras. So they used the snake to move the mountain to churn the ocean, and Amrit was produced. Amrit is supposed to give you eternal bliss. So that's the story. Yoga essentially involves the movement of the spine and the skull. The skull and the spine, the movement can be compared to that of the snake. The churning of the ocean can be compared to the cerebrospinal fluid, which is there in our head and all the way down into our spine. There's a liquid cerebrospinal fluid. So when you do movements of the spine, it churns the cerebrospinal fluid. The vibrations which are created by the cerebrospinal fluid, it will go and stimulate the pineal gland. This will release dopamine, oxytocin, endorphin, serotonin, which are responsible for the pleasantness in the body. These secretions that are produced by the pineal gland can be compared to the amrit that is released by the churning of the ocean. So what I'm trying to convey is that yoga is a very, very, very important part of sustaining your life, particularly if you have multiple sclerosis. We are all made of the above 5 elements, and it is very important to be in touch with the source of our creation. It's like an electric car. It has to be charged to be able to function. Similarly, our body needs to be charged, and this will happen only by being in touch with our source of creation. Once you are diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, there are different ways of accepting it. Those of you who believe in karma, accept it as karma. A very well-known and respected Swamiji, Sri Ganapati Sachidananda Swami from Mysore, told me once, do not pray for the disease to go away, but pray for the strength to endure the disease. By enduring the disease, you're burning your karma and you're making sure that your future is not bound by the karma. Now, there are many amongst you who doesn't believe in karma. They believe only in science. So you do what you think is the best. You take the medicine that is necessary. It may be steroids, it may be immunosuppressants, it may be biological. But you take those medicines with an immense faith in the process. Even after being on those treatments, don't let your mind make you suffer. It's important to accept it, give it your all, and take the medicines. Now, there are those who believe in destiny, and they know that what is meant to happen will anyway happen. Now, those who believe in destiny can choose to let the body heal itself. And you take medical help when it is needed. When it begins to affect your normal life, when you are suffering because of MS, that is when you go in for any kind of treatment. I would personally recommend a combination of balancing the 5 elements of nature, taking alternative systems like homeopathy, Ayurveda on a long-term basis, because there are no side effects to this medicine, they are natural, and use allopathy as and when needed. Now, I specialize in homeopathy, so I know that homeopathic medicines work on the emotions, and it helps in releasing those trapped emotions, which in turn will stop your cells from working against you. I would also strongly recommend that you join Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. It is an online course. This has changed a lot of people, and this will change your perspective about life, and it will help you to be joyful. When you're joyful, good hormones are released, you'll be pain-free. But whatever you choose from today, you should stop suffering mentally and be joyful. I have prepared an hour-long guided meditation, an audio which is an hour-long guided meditation, which I have prepared particularly for people suffering from autoimmune disorders. Now, this will help and guide you to revisit the many unpleasant events in your life from the womb till date. I have made this audio in such a way that you will be able to remember not only the events that is stored in your conscious mind, but take you into relaxation so that you can even remember the unpleasantness that is stored in your subconscious mind. And I would be through the audio guiding you to help you release these emotions. It is a very intense 1 hour audio, so I do not want to give it as an open this thing because it has to be done under supervision. So I'm going to leave my phone number on the chat box with a WhatsApp. If you can reach out to me on WhatsApp, I will share that with you so that you can be in touch with me in case you need any assistance or something. I'm also going to share my Insta page because on my Insta page, I regularly post different perspectives of different diseases, and I'm sure it would help you in your thinking process. And whatever is the latest, I try to post it. You can be in touch with me through that. So I once again repeat, from today, whatever is that you choose, I want you to be joyful. I don't want you to suffer mentally because of multiple sclerosis. Now, with this, I end my talk and I am open to take any questions, but I would prefer that the questions be asked, which is the answer in Google. It doesn't make sense because if you can Google it and see it. So thank you, MSSI, for this opportunity. Thank you, Dimple. Thank you, everybody. And grateful.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I'm actually speechless today, and you know very well why I am today like this. But it was definitely a wonderful session. Thank you so much. So let's go ahead with the question answer session. So the first question is, I have a foot drop. I can't walk without shoes. How do I walk barefoot?
Like I said, there is no need for you to really walk. The whole idea is to be in connect with the nature. You can just take a chair, sit in your garden, put your feet down, and make sure that your foot is touching the ground or the grass. It's like electricity, it's a vibration. Everything in life is vibration. I mean, you read the science says everything in life is vibration. So vibration just needs a contact to be connected. So you put your feet on the ground or the grass and you will automatically get connected to the ground. You don't have to walk.
Okay, now this is my personal question, Doctor. The therapy the session, the audio that you're talking about, which you're going to share, how does it affect any person with any kind of disease? One, and yeah, you tell that first, and then I'll ask my next question.
Okay. So I've just posted my WhatsApp number and my
Mhm,
Instagram this thing. So those of you who wants this particular audio can connect on WhatsApp on that number.
mhm,
Okay, so this audio has been particularly designed for autoimmune disorders, particularly to revisit our unpleasant events in our life. Now, in this audio, it is a relaxation audio. It is a meditative audio where I guide you into relaxing your body part by part. And once you go into relaxation, then I guide you into unpleasant events that has happened from adulthood till teenage. Then I take you from teenage to childhood, then from childhood to your mother's womb. So there are different stages where I guide you and I help you to recollect unpleasant events that has happened. Now, when you recollect these unpleasant events, I've already told you how to look at it. It's again repeated in the audio, how you
mhm.
can untrap these emotions. Now, it is very important for us to untrap these emotions because personally, I mean, for all or for those people who believe in karma, it is these baggage, these untrapped emotions are baggages that we are carrying in our life. These baggages, if you don't let go of in this life, it is carried on to the next life as karma. Why would you want to again suffer in your next life? Why can't you let go of it? It is an easy process. It may not be very easy for many people, particularly those who are holding on to a huge load of baggages. It might be very difficult because it has become a part of them. But don't you think you should make an effort to unload? Don't you think
Def-
that you're carrying such a baggage is causing you so much of harm? And the only way to do it is revisiting, or you should be blessed by somebody who is divine. There are different ways of, dissolving your karma. This is one of the ways. The other way of dissolving karma is somebody who is blessed. They might just look at you, they might just touch you, and then you can burn your karma. But on all practical purposes, revisiting it is the most beautiful way to do it. And once you do it, if you share what emotions are trapped in you with me, then there are homeopathic medicines work on an emotional level.
mm,
So once you share it, then what we do is we give you medicines which can release those emotions faster with those homeopathic medicines. So a combination of you revisiting these events and medications will together help you. But if let me tell you this: if this release happens, you will experience what miracle is. I've seen this happen with many people. When you release these trapped elements, they miraculously they heal. I mean, it's unexplainable how it happens. I mean, the science is not able to explain to you what the hell is happening. They don't know why your cells are fighting against each other. But when you release these emotions, you can see instantly things happening within your body. And you're not using any chemicals, you're not doing anything. You're only internalizing yourself to help you. It's as simple as that.
Wow. And my second question related to the same thing, what will this therapy cost a patient? Because we also look into that aspect.
Yeah. So I am more than happy to share this link with all of you at MSSI. No charges at all. You can please use it. The only thing is be in
Lovely.
touch with me because I'd love to guide you whenever you know there are certain aspects. This is a spiritual dimension. So there are times when you might need some guidance, and I'm more than happy to guide you through the WhatsApp. No charges. You just have to write to me, and I'll send it across to you. It is only at a post level. If you need therapy, if you need homeopathic medicines for those emotions and all that, then But otherwise, I'm more than happy to share it free of cost with all of you.
That's a very, very big and a lovely news. Thank you so much for this. And let's go ahead with the next question. There is a person who has skin of fingers and hands and legs peeling every day. Nails also brittle due to MS. What can I do?
What is the first part? Can you repeat that?
Skin of the fingers, hand and legs peel every day. Peeling is there in the
What
skin.
makes you think this is happening because of MS? See, this is the problem. Once you're diagnosed
Mm.
with it, every damn thing that happens to you, it is MS.
Mm.
I get I get hundreds of patients having this problem of skin peeling off. I mean, you guys think about it. Does it make sense? Is it got anything to do with MS? Brittle nails is a very, very common problem. It can be because of
Hmm.
deficiency, it can be because of calcium, it can be because of nothing to do with MS. Don't try to connect everything, and this is the problem. You guys have to
Right.
liberate yourself. You get out of the diagnosis. This is why I said you are suffering the diagnosis of MS, not MS.
Yes.
You know, I wish, I keep telling this to most of my patients that, I wish you were all those gaonwalas, villagers. They have no knowledge. They just take what you say and they're so happy. They live more happily than you and me.
Hmm.
You and me, our knowledge, our intelligence is what is working against us.
Again. Right.
So shed all that, leave it to destiny, enjoy your life. Don't go behind, don't make MS as a prime focus in your life. Don't wake up every day to the MS thing. You think about MS when it really starts troubling you. Don't go on having it in your mind. This is not, let me tell you, it's not nothing to do with MS alone. I mean, I should give you a very small example, suppose one day you go to office with a mild headache. You have that headache till afternoon. Lunchtime, you still have that headache. So by evening, you say, okay, let me go and check my BP with the office doctor. The doctor suddenly says it is 180 by 120. And he says, you go meet your physician. So now from office to your physician, that mild headache will become a pounding headache. You suddenly start to feel breathless. You suddenly start to sweat. You start feeling a chest pain. And then you reach the doctor and the doctor checks your BP and says, your BP is very high. What are your symptoms? I have chest pain, I'm sweating, I'm breathless. But let me ask you, are these your symptoms of blood pressure? All you had was a nagging headache. Everything else happened after you knew that your blood pressure was high. So all the symptoms are symptoms of stress, nothing to do with blood pressure. Similarly, MS doesn't do much to you. It is your mind. So there are few percentage of people who are not in a good state. I understand that. But most of you, if you look at it, it's your mind that is making you suffer. It's not your diagnosis.
So, for this peeling of skin, do you think anything in homeopathy can help the patient?
I'm sure you can consult your nearest homeopathic doctor. I don't know from which place you are. Please consult them. They'll be able to take care of you 100%.
Sure, there is
It's a
just
very
an
simple
N
thing.
in the name. Okay, sure. And there is this next question. Which Sadhguru course did you mention?
Inner Engineering by Sadhguru.
Okay.
Isha
So,
Foundation.
Inner engineering. Okay.
Inner Engineering. I'll type it so that.
Hanji, please do that. And another question is, I'm 49 and almost 30 years back, I lost my father in an accident, and it did left us in a shock. And we took quite some time to recover. I'm fighting MS for the past 16 years. I will never forget my father's demise. And it will always remain as a baggage. Did I acquire MS because I suffered? I did suffer from this loss for many years. Sorry for a long question. Would appreciate your comments. Please, sir, I can connect with you too later. So I think yes.
I'll give you a very brief answer to this. See, you lost your father a few years back, and you are troubled by it. Suppose your father didn't die. Suppose he died today. Would you have been all right? Would you have accepted it? Suppose he died 10 years from now. Would you have accepted it? Do you know anybody who has not died? Can you introduce me to somebody who has not died? Everybody has to die.
Absolutely.
Death is something that we shy away from. Just like how we shy away from unpleasant events, we shy away from talking about death. This is the most unfortunate part. When somebody is born, so many people come together to bring them in. Doctors, relatives, you celebrate. But we don't even discuss death. It's important to discuss death. Death is just a shift from one person to another. It's like sleeping and waking up in another body. It's as simple as that. And there's nobody who has not died. All of us have to die. Just like how birth is an event, a pleasant event, death also has to be an event. Now, for that understanding to come in, you have to be spiritual, you have to read about a lot of things. Yes, I would say if it has traumatized you badly, it will definitely cause some issue in the physical body. I do not know if it has caused MS in you, but for sure it will cause a problem and you need to come out of it. Yes.
I
Any
think
other?
that's about it. Yeah, there is one last.
Yeah, is past life regression therapy different from hypnotism? Now,
Hmm.
when you recollect, see what happens is in conscious, subconscious mind, sometimes there is overlapping of events that has happened in this life and sometimes some that has happened in the past life also. Many people may not believe in it, but for those who
Yeah.
believe in it, while you undergo this session, there is a possibility that you might be getting traces of something that has happened in the past life also. The intent is not to revisit past life because past life is mostly of entertainment value. Because when you come out of a past life event, you are not sure whether it really happened or whether it was a fragment of your imagination. So don't go into these sessions with the hope that you will get into the past life. If it happens naturally, let it happen and it will resolve on its own. So what I am trying to do is not hypnotism. I am only taking you into deep relaxation from where I am letting your conscious and subconscious mind visit those unpleasant events.
Okay.
Now
So
somebody
when
has
we,
scanned this.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, please continue. No, please continue.
Can this therapy reverse MS? That is, can this therapy make me stand? I'm on wheelchair since day 16. Miracles can happen. I told you in the beginning. All the miracles that you hear about in this world happens because the body has healed itself. There are many books where people have been given up for dead, but they came back. They came back because they worked on themselves. They became because they worked on their own self. Any miracle that can happen happens because of you, your own healing mechanism that happened. It does not happen because of chemicals. So yes, it can cause miracles. If you revisit it the way, if you do the right thing, I'm sure you'll be able to stand. I'm quite confident. I've seen miracles happen, and I'm sure it can happen with you too. Why not?
In connection with MS, there are many patients who face insomnia. So how can, like, after the treatment, after the
So
therapy,
let me
how do
ask
you
you: is
think?
insomnia a part of MS?
If I take my case, yes, after MS, no, 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 no. I started facing insomnia first and then it was MS. Yes, sorry.
You see,
Yeah. But there are
sleep
many
is
patients.
no,
It
no. I
is,
understand.
doctor, it is normally insomnia is associated with MS.
Fair enough. So let me tell you this thing: insomnia, sleeplessness. When is it that you're not able to sleep? The only thing that can prevent you from sleep is your thought. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Nothing else. It is your thoughts which can make you sleepless. The whole idea, if you're able to shut down your thoughts, you will naturally sleep.
No, doctor. In MS, the lesions in the brain can cause difficulty in sleeping. It's a symptom of MS.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough. But you look at it from your perspective also. What do you do when you don't get sleep? You are into some kind of a thought. If you're able to practice meditation, if you're able to practice thoughtlessness, there are many, many different ways where you can practice thoughtlessness. That's the most safest way that I can tell you to get sleep. There are other ways. Have a couple of drinks in the night and sleep rather than taking sleeping tablets. Do physical exercise and do sleeping. There are very safe homeopathic medicines which can help you sleep better. I'm not saying it will knock you off, but it will calm your mind and you will be able to sleep better.
Okay.
Try alternative therapies for insomnia.
How effective is keto diet and paleo diet to reduce or stop relapsing MS?
I don't know how MS and keto are connected. Keto, I know is, I really don't know. I'm okay to say what I know and I'm okay to say what I don't know. What I know of keto diet is it is a temporary way of reducing weight. It is not even a permanent way of reducing weight. It's a very temporary way. You do it, you lose weight, you go back, you're back to square one again. So it makes no sense to me. But if it does anything to to MS, I really do not know. But if you visit my website, drmanoj.com, I'll again leave it here.
Please reach Hanji, please.
There is a diet video which I have given, which is a concept of one ball diet. I don't stop you from stopping anything. I want you to eat everything that you want. But what I want you to eat is one bowl of it every 4 hourly. I've given a detailed 18 minutes video in that you can go through that, understand the logic behind it, and adopt it in your life. This will not only help you to lose weight, but you also need to understand that the more you eat, the more energy is required for your body to digest the food. If all your energy is going into digestion of the food, you will not be left with anything for the rest of the body. And your body needs healing. Healing also happens with energy. So if you're able to give your stomach rest, give it less amount of food to eat, that amount of energy will be used for your healing. So do visit that diet video.
Sure.
If it makes sense to you, it's very easy to follow. And it's a doable one. It's not something that is a temporary diet. You can do it for a long period of time.
The next question is the approach you advised. I understand and believe the progression will halt by releasing emotions, but how to overcome or heal present symptoms like severe fatigue or other ones?
When your cells stop to act against you, work against you, all these symptoms has to come down, no? Because you are treating the cause. According to me, the cause is emotions. According to me, it is the mental emotion that is causing MS. It is not an organism that is causing MS. We don't know what the hell is causing MS. Whatever little we know, it is the emotions that are causing it. And if you're able to treat that cause, automatically your symptoms will start to get better. Take supportive therapies with alternative therapies that can help yoga. You see, I'm very clear. I have been treating patients for 33 years now, and I have treated many autoimmune disorders. And I've seen that the moment they start balancing the 5 elements of nature and treating alternative therapies, most of them respond beautifully. They will, from time to time, when the relapse happens, I mean, you guys think about it because there are a lot of you who are affected. Every time you go through an emotional turmoil, some symptom or the other will come out. Yes or no, you tell me. What else can be proof enough that it is your mind that is working against you? It is your emotions that are working against you. It is emotions that is working against you. So
Strong. Okay. Now this is fasting effective to heal spiritually as well as biologically?
yeah, 16-hour fasting, autophagy, it has won a Nobel Prize. So previously the doctors used to say you must eat every 4 hourly, otherwise you'll get acidity, you'll have that, this and all that. Now they are all over the place saying that 16-hour fast is the best thing that you can do. So let's go by what they're saying. Fasting is brilliant because after you stop growing vertically, food becomes fuel. You will only put on weight like this. Correct? So the lesser amount of food that you eat, the more energy you will have. You try it out. That's what my video on diet speaks of also. Fasting, you're giving your body a chance to heal. There's so much of energy. When you fast, you're a lot more energetic. It's only the first few days you'll feel a little weak. After that, your energy levels will just shoot up like crazy. Now, let me ask you something. You go eat food, you get full khana kake. The reason you eat food is because you need energy. But what do you do after eating full? You go and lie down. You want to sit down. You want to take rest. You want to take a nap. Are you doing the right thing or the wrong thing? So fasting is fantastic. Fantastic. Somebody else is asking, my doctor suggests I can get pregnant if I continue my medication during pregnancy, but it's a steroid, so I'm really confused with the type of steroid. You see, being on medication while you're pregnant, not a great idea. Particularly if you're on steroids and if you're on immunosuppressants and all that, there is an element of risk to the child for sure. I would put it this way. Most of you, suppose you're planning pregnancy, that means you're in a good situation. That means you're not so horrible that you can't do anything in life. You're mobile, or you are able to do certain things in life. which also means that you could probably give up your medication for some time. The reason people don't give up their medication is because they're scared. If I stop my steroids, if I stop my immunosuppressants, what will happen to me? I'll fall dead tomorrow. It's that fear that has been inculcated. So if you really want to have a child, MS has this remission and exacerbations. So look for a period of remission, during which time you can actually stop all your medications, slowly taper it off, plan a pregnancy, and then later on when you need it, you go ahead with it. But both together, I would not. I mean, there are people who do it. There are times when the child is born healthy, there is no problem also, but there is an element of risk in it for sure. Now, you are also asking me, is it a good idea to get pregnant with MS? I mean, why not? Why not? Does everybody who has blood pressure don't get pregnant? Because it is genetically transferable. Do everybody who has diabetes, do everybody who has thyroid, do everybody who has cancer, if they all decide that I don't want to get pregnant because I might be transmitting, it doesn't work that way. It's your destiny, it's your karma, it is what it is. So, and there's a famous saying, children are not born to you. Children are born through you. They choose to be born through you. So if they choose to be born through you, you have no say in it. They will come. What else?
There was another one question that was there. I don't know
Is
whether
fasting
this is
effective to heal spiritually as well as biologically? Yes, it is. I've
you just
already
said
answered
that. Suffering
Somebody said,
from
yeah.
I
Go
don't know how to pronounce this. Suffering from urticaria from past 4 years. I don't know whether urticaria. Okay.
Yeah. Urticaria is a very easily treatable disease. It is a chronic skin disease where your body is reacting to some allergen, whether it is internal, external stress and all that. There are wonderful medicines in homeopathy for it. Connect with any homeopathic doctor, they'll be able to take care of it. Easily treatable, not a problem.
Definitely patients who are in Hyderabad can definitely connect with Dr. Manoj and yes.
Yeah, drmanoj.com, you can go on to that. If you're
Yeah.
outside, you can. There are wonderful medicines in homeopathy for urticaria, no worries about it at all.
Sandeep ji is saying, Sir ji, please speak in Hindi. I can't understand.
पूरा रामायण होने के बाद आप सीता को ने पूछे तो मैं क्या बोलूं अभी आपको मैं
संदीप जी
डिम्पल आपको ट्रांसलेट करके बता देगी
डेफिनेटली
मैं भी केरला से हूँ मैं हिंदी बात करना शुरू करे तो यहाँ से बहुत लोग भाग जाएंगे
नहीं but one personal question, doctor. A person who is even living with MS or any chronic disease for a more longer time, let that be 10 plus years, 20 plus years, even with the therapy that you're suggesting, will be able to come out of any kind of trauma or any deep trauma? Let that be many years they are living with it.
So, Dimple, the topic is how to live joyfully with MS. We are not trying to see how you can get out of. So, if you want to be joyful, this is the only way. You accept whatever has happened to you. Do not make it the focus of your life. Let MS be there. I have psoriatic arthritis. Let it be there. I do my thing. I don't sit at home crying that I have arthritis and all that. I do everything. Now I stay in a farmhouse 3 days a week. I walk without slippers. I work with the garden. I do what I love to do. I don't sit and go on self-pity mode that I've got some problem, something is going to happen to me. That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. Get it out of your mind. Enjoy your life. Are you all sure that you guys will wake up tomorrow morning?
No.
So there are millions of us who go to sleep, don't wake up tomorrow in the morning. You're thinking about it tomorrow. You're thinking about a wheelchair that can happen to you for 10 years from now. You bloody don't know if you'll wake up tomorrow morning. Nowadays, the youngsters are going to the gym and they're falling dead.
Yeah, sadly.
So tomorrow morning, if you wake up, open your eyes, smile, I'm alive, and have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Meet people and do joyful things. Wake up and I'm having pain. Today I don't know what is going to be my situation. Today my eyes will be that. No. You're telling your body what you are designing your destiny. Be
Which
positive.
you should. Yes,
Yeah. So be grateful
okay,
to every day that you're having.
definitely. There is another question. I'm
Yeah,
having
I'm having
UTI
UTI
throughout.
throughout. The medicines cause chronic urinary tract infection cannot be treated with allopathy because you will go on taking antibiotics, and that is bound to cause constipation. There are wonderful medicines, homeopathy and Ayurveda for chronic urinary tract. You take allopathy only when it is bad. Rest of the time, take homeopathy. Improve your immunity so that you will not fall sick as often. Connect with any homeopathic doctor. There are wonderful medicines, miraculous medicines for chronic UTI. Very common after a particular age, particularly during menopausal age, post-menopausal. Once you get UTI, it goes on repeating. You go on taking antibiotic. It'll ruin your stomach. So alternative
Mm,
systems are wonderful for this. There are very good medicines.
great. So, any more questions, guys?
No.
I guess
All
that's
right.
great. So, I am so speechless today. And now we come to an end of this wonderful, wonderful session on how to live
Thank you
happily
so
with
much.
MS.
Yes.
I want to thank MSSI for all the support and encouragement they have always shown in the National Youth Wing. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our knowledgeable speaker, Dr. Manoj, for this enlightening and transformative experience. I would also like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all my dear MS friends, family, and caregivers for joining us today in this webinar. May all you carry the wisdom gained today into our lives for a healthier and a happier future. And by the way, we'll catch you all very soon with another yet interesting webinar, and we'll keep you posted on this. And thank you again so much, Dr. Manoj. Thanks for this wonderful webinar. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a lovely Saturday.
Thank
Have a lovely
you.
weekend.
Thank you, Dimple.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome to Area.
Dr.
Bye-bye.
Manoj, thank you so much. It was
Doctor.
really enlightening. Enlightening.
Glad.
Doctor, thank you, MS Society.
Cheers,
you.
youth. Wonderful job. Youth Wing. Awesome.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Thank you, Mamta.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj.
Thank
It
you,
was
Dr.
really
Manoj.
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Dr. Manoj.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Doctor,
Thank you,
I
Dr.
will
Manoj.
get in touch with you personally because, we had the way you were talking. We have a lot of similar kind of thinking that you shared. What I also tell everybody. So I will get in touch with you personally and see how we can.
Absolutely. Anything I can do for you guys, I'm always available. And you can reach out to me on that phone number, and I'll be more than happy to be of any help.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye,
Mention
guys.
the phone number again, please.
Yes,
Yes,
we'll share it in the groups
Yeah,
very
okay.
soon, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr.
Bye-bye.
Manoj from Hyderabad. Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Manoj.